back to another episode of Delisa Unfiltered. I have my first guest today. I'm honored and privileged to have my scholarly confidant and just someone I look up to that's very knowledgeable. And I just want to just give you the floor.
Thank you,
Would you like
Lisa.
to introduce yourself and just take it?
This is a first for me to be someone's guest, the one that's knowledgeable in African awareness. And she brings it out so well. I told her, I said, she talked about what I would talk about. But first of all, I would say thank you to Lisa for having such confidence in me and to your audience. I want to say Ashe to all of you. And I just want to go over the dichotomy of man. We're spirits, we have a soul, and we live in a body. And if your spirit, and your spirit is your intuition, your communion, and your conscience. In your soul is your intellect, your mind, your will, and your emotions. And then the outer realm is your body. Now, the intuition is the most important part of man that communes with God. And it's not a hard thing to say. It's a simple, small voice. Like you may come in contact with someone and the intuition will say, no, I don't think that's good for you. But your mind says, he looks good. I'm going to talk to him. And so your spirit and your soul is at odds against one another because the spirit is most comparable to God. And that's where you commune with him. It's in your spirit. So that's the dichotomy of man. And when you are going to make decisions, check with your spirit. Check with your intuition. Because that'll tell you whether or not you're doing right or whether or not you're doing wrong. And that takes me to Mayat. Mayat is God. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It is what the Ethiopians what you will be judged in the afterlife by Mayat. Mayat is a goddess and it's harmony, balance, order, reciprocity, and priority. And the pharaohs had to have Mayat and Isfat to keep the world in balance. But in order to have a heart that's lighter than a feather, you have to do Mayat. Isfat is chaos, evil. The concepts were not simply abstract ideas, but were deeply intertwined with the Egyptians. Understanding of the cosmos, society, and the afterlife. And so if your heart is light as a feather, and we can do this, it can be done, it's possible. And you think about, I listened to my spiritual leader, and he talks about, why do we have a picture of Jesus and don't have a picture of the devil? And I said, I never thought of that. Because when Jesus was in the wilderness, was it his mind that was tempting him, or was it a man? And so I just said, if it was all nailed to the cross, and if he defeated the devil, then we should not give him any place. And then in 2020, Googled the brain. The brain is 3 pounds of universe with 40 trillion neurons with 70,000 connectors going 350 miles an hour. And so the Lord told me, he said, you gotta focus on one thing, Diana. Because I had thoughts going here and there and everywhere. But he learned me how to focus on one thing, and that's what's keeping me grounded. I'm not afraid of the devil because he has no lot in my life. And as long as I treat everyone, I wake up and I ask the ancestors, I said, thank you, Ra, for giving me another day. Thank you for the morning light. And I said, ancestors, I said, please help me treat everyone with respect, not limiting God, not taking him out of it, because it was him that gave us the ancestry line.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I'm about finished right now, Lisa.
Well, I thank you for joining me and being my first guest, and I hope to have you back again. I truly enjoyed it, as I always have. That's one thing that I do love about you. You will study. You know I love to. And I got one question for you. When you started to find out about African spirituality and those truths and how they kind of made more logic, you know what I'm saying, and putting a number or a name or sort of a flavor to, you know, you kind of know more clearly what's happening even with yourself. And even like how you spoke about the brain and the scarab beetle, you know, how it kind of represents the skull, how your brain is split, that scarab beetle, and all those different things. How did you feel when you started finding about those truths?
Well, at first I was angry because I spent all my life up until I turned 70, because that's when I learned about the African awareness and truth of mankind. I was angry. I had stopped reading the King James Version. I was looking for a Bible that would continually to tell me that my Jesus was an African, and that I just wanted to learn more, because we never knew it in elementary school. We never knew it in church, because we were always taught to reverence the white Jesus. And I thought everybody in the Bible was white. But I even asked one of the guys that when I stayed at Skill, I asked him, I said, well, what color do you think Jesus is? He said, a white man. And that's what we were grown up to believe. And
Well, Jesus is a white man because that's who gave him to us.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Yeshua, and that's the thing, it wasn't even J's in the alphabet back then. So how could, you know, it's just, to me, it's empowering to know the truth and stand on that. You know, it's like you lose fear when you know truth, you know.
Right,
And
exactly.
yeah. Mhm.
Exactly. And my spiritual leader, who I espouse to listen to, is Dr. Ray Hagan. And then they started bringing African awareness on YouTube every day. And that's good, because even a young lady here, she says, I wonder why they said that Jesus was a white man and she was a Caucasian lady. But I told someone, I said, even though we are the predominant race, we have to love. We have to have that heart that respects everyone.
Well, by nature, I think not all of us, because there's good and bad in
Hmm.
all races, but by nature, we were more of a caring, giving, willing to share whatever we had. And so that's what got everything taken, being generous and accommodating to the new settlers or the new people that came.
I know Regina has taught me how to take care of myself because it's like you said, we were givers. And I would give, give, give. They would ask for different things on the television, and I would do that and not really uh, think about myself and my family. And so we have to learn how to help ourselves because Dr. Ray Hagan has he's in with this Black Achievement Fund, and they help only $9 a month will give over $1 billion to help the Black people. And I say that's good because if you join, then you have a right to go to them if you ever need help. And I know someone else, Frida Riley, she was thinking about getting into that. Someone else was talking to me about it. But there should be an entity around the world to help the Black man.
I want to interject a point. There is, people, although the African community is not as prevalent here, there are people that you can go to in Michigan, and then there's a whole village in South Carolina, Oyotunji village, where they don't even speak English before noon. They speak Yoruba. And so there's places over here that we don't even have to go all the way to Africa to experience that. But with Egyptology, I study it, but it's only so far that I can go, with it. And so I have somebody that I call if I have questions or something like that. But I don't know. Overall, I've been blessed by coming into the knowledge of it.
It's
It's like,
freedom. It's
yeah,
freedom to know who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. If you don't
and
know where you come from, you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going. And it's sad because I'm like Pastor Hagen. I taught this a long time, project a long time. And it's really sad that a lot of people gonna celebrate Christmas. And I read the book of Esther. The closest thing that I came to Christmas was a celebration that they had in towards the last chapter, and I can get into that maybe another time. But they gave gifts to the poor. They celebrated, and I say that's where they got their Christmas.
would you come back for a Christmas special? I mean, before Christmas, like after Thanksgiving, and do one because they called it Saturnalia. It was a gender bending time where they did a lot of crazy stuff, orgies. I mean, it was off the chain. But it was called Saturnalia. And here's the deal. I asked one of these prominent leaders in my city, have you ever heard of it? Saturnalia, no, what is that? I mean, I want to know about everything. I might not practice everything, but I want to know what it looked like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, because to me, if you don't know, it's like you're throwing your God-given right away to think,
and
to
no,
to think. You losing your, and then a lot of things that we do have control over, and we can affect. That is why all this knowledge was taken away from us, because with the simple tidbit of knowledge, you can affect the world of change in your life, you know?
Amen.
Def- yeah. So I guess we could close out. I really thank you for coming on today. I've been trying to get it together so I could make it happen. But I want to have you back, you know, and would you like to close us out, you know, however you see fit, whether it's our traditional prayer or if you want to, you know, whatever.
Well, I want to
Take
say
us away.
again, thank you. And those that are listening, I'm asking that Rob would open your mind to wanting to know the truth, because the truth that you know will set you free. It'll set you free from condemnation. It'll set you free to fulfill your purpose that Ra has given you. And I will say, Ashe, 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 and all. And one thing, don't forget your ancestors.
Yes, I got to say something. That is so empowering. You know what I'm saying? With all the deaths and losses that we've experienced, I think that somehow if people knew that it wasn't evil, you know, you're not worshiping them, you're venerating them, you're lifting them up and you're remembering them. Although people do that in different ways, you know what I'm saying? My pastor wife used to have a day commemorating her mother, probably about 4 or 5 years after she died, every year. But she was remembering, and that's all that is. And people think it's evil because of the things that have been taught and explained to us, you know, that it's evil to, and about the witches in the Bible and stuff like that. But you said something a while back, and I know we're supposed to be taking it away, and we are. But you said something about giving and that emotional giving. What's that scripture that says that if you don't take care, a man that does not take care of his house is worse than a
Infidel.
yeah.
It's worse than
Everything.
infidel.
So give to worthy causes and don't do the emotional giving.
Right,
But
exactly. That's what I was doing.
yeah, we all do. But I believe that the Creator, Ra Olodumare, because across the continent of Africa, the Most High has different names. You know,
Hmm.
my path is in Sheshe, but I study Egyptology, all of that, because across the continent of Africa, there may be a pantheon of deities, but they different ones have significant roles that are alike. If that makes
Amen.
sense.
That's it.
So I'm just grateful to know it. I'm thankful for you being here, and thank you all for tuning in and following. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And give your TikTok name, your address. Is it Beauty
It's goddess.
Goddess? Okay. What is the whole handle?
Well,
Is it
it's you can get me on TikTok by my Gmail.
I'll post her link to her teachings in the description of this broadcast. Until next time, Adabo.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow